strength. It's not just about muscle, it's about will. Grit, the fire inside that refuses to quit. Every rep, every lift, every drop of sweat, it all leads to this moment. This is for the relentless. The dedicated. The ones who push past limits and redefine strength. You don't just lift the weight. You lift yourself. You lift your legacy. Powerlifting isn't a sport. It's a statement. How strong is yours?
To day 2 of the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain. I'm Amelia Potter, joined by Alex Noda.
How are we feeling this morning, Amelia?
Fresh and excited. It has been an excellent start to the championship so far. We really were treated with some amazing lifting yesterday. And yourself, Alex?
I'm excited too. Day 1 was awesome. Expecting this one to be at least as exciting.
Yeah, 100%. And today for you, if I lay out the timetable as it stands, this morning we have the 83 kilo C group. At 1:30 p.m. local time will be the 57 and 83 B groups. And this evening in prime time Eurosport will have 6 p.m. 57 and 83 kilo A groups. Now you can see the running order as it stands here. Unlike normal where we may be seeing people fight for medals, that might be a little bit different here as we have 3 different flights of 83s in the morning, in the afternoon and the evening. So what we're going to be looking at is lifters trying to get the absolute most they can out of their total here on the highest level they can in Europe at the European Powerlifting Championships.
And I reckon a lifter from the C group grabbing a medal in the movement will be an amazing story.
It would be. It'll be a hard feat to do. I don't know if I've quite ever seen that at B group before, but I would love to see that this morning.
We've seen it at Worlds, I think. Tyrell Dominique in the 83s grabbed a bronze or a silver medal in the deadlift event from the C group.
If he could do it, then why not somebody else? We have some pretty big openers here in the C, like the European Open squat record stands at 310 kilos. We have an opener of 262.5 from Jonathan Sordeling. So I'm excited to see the standard of lifting we see this morning.
I think that record belongs to Jurgen Skengamo, if I'm not wrong.
I believe it could absolutely belong to Jurgens. The world record, of course, belonging to Russell Orhi. Fadi Gurbanov from Azerbaijan, 200 kilos.
First lift of the day, set the tone.
Nice steady looking lift. It can be nerve-wracking being the first lift around, especially for your first squat of the day.
And the lights already teasing us this morning.
Referees, flags, please.
And we lean towards the flag, so we will verbally tell you that it is 2-1, a no lift, unfortunately. A call for depth from the right-hand side and a yellow from the center referee, so I'm wondering if he maybe jumped one of those commands.
I think he might have stepped too early to re-rack, but I was worried for depth on that left hip.
Like we said, it can be very nerve-wracking, so he's got a feel for the platform now and hopefully can come back on his second and correct those. Our first Maltese lifter of the competition, we have Joseph Abela, 210.
This one looks deeper.
Yeah, it's a lovely clean squat there from Joseph. And it's a good lift, 3 white lights, a good start to the competition for him.
215 kilos going onto the bar for Konstantinos Dimitriou, followed by Vicina and Zvoshilo. Bar is loaded.
Konstantinos Dimitriou from Cyprus, 215 kilos. Just fresh out of the juniors, 24 years old.
Quite the sticking point on that opener.
Yeah, a little bit tougher than you'd want an opener to be. It's on the board, it's a good lift, and you know, it's worth repeating that coming out for that first squat really has a lot of impact. You're trying to test the waters to see what the referees judging is like today. You know, you're getting your first squat out at an international. There's a lot on the line, so you know it's fair enough. We see a lot of lifters perhaps make some mistakes.
Yeah, it is not uncommon to see the second one move better than the opener.
And let's hope that's the case there, because it did look a little tricky. Neil Betsina from Malta, 215 kilos.
And this one probably moved as expected.
Yeah, I think the smoothest opener we've seen thus far, probably. Right, that's a good lift.
Followed by Desiatsky and Kocha. Bar is loaded. And
Luka Zlosilo from Croatia, 225 kilos.
Nice and steady opener.
Yeah, that is a lovely looking opener for Luka. Very comfortable. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Roland Desiatsky, goes for 230 kilos, to be followed by Kocha and Molnar. Bar is loaded.
Roland Desiatsky from Estonia, 230 kilos. We've seen some more Estonian lifters come through since they held Euros 2 years ago.
Very smooth opener.
Yeah, looked good. Only 10 kilos below his personal best. A good lift. 3 white lights.
I wouldn't be surprised if he looks at only second.
The bar is loaded.
Very impressive with already 10 years competitive experience to already still be pushing on your opener near your personal best. Denis Kocha from Slovenia, 235 kilos.
I mean, competing on that platform surely pushes you. It helps you to surpass those plateaus in training. And no troubles whatsoever for Denis Kocha. Easy opener, white lights.
Bar is loaded.
252.5 kilos for Mark Molnar from Hungary. Our penultimate opening attempt from this flight.
I feel like he might have rushed his setup.
That is easy to forget it's an opener. That is pretty difficult for Mark. And I hope it is the case that it was a rush instead of just a strength issue. But let's have a look at that again.
Yeah, trajectory looks off. Doesn't look comfortable under the bar.
I imagine they'll look to take a smaller jump than they expected there to be safe. But it is a good lift, nonetheless, 2 to 1. Now our heaviest opener of this flight, we have Jonathan Söderling from Sweden, 262.5 kilos, and a very decent squat opener, particularly for the C group this morning. Likely to end up in, at the very least, the top half of the squatters out of the entire 83s, I imagine.
He's the only one with a forecasted total that starts with a 7.
That was very quick as well. 3 white lights, a good lift.
White lights to finish off our opening round. 2:02.5 on clock for Silvano.
Swedish lifters are always so
Yeah, the Swedish team are very, very selective in who they bring as well, and you know, you can see that in how they compete. That concludes our opening round of squats, with all bar one lifter getting a squat on the board. Just a couple of things to change there, and hopefully he can get it on his second. Söderling currently leading, but of course, medals are subject to change until all the way into the evening when we have our Eurosport session. Now that lifter without a squat yet on the board, we have Fadi Gurbanov from Azerbaijan. He's chosen to go up 2.5 kilos, 202.5 for his second attempt.
Yeah, 2 adjustments to be made. One pretty easy, just waiting for the commands. And one that might be harder is hitting depth.
As long as he can convince one more of those referees, he could be safe. Of course, has to get past the jury as well. Definitely waited for the command this time around. 2 to 1, a good lift. Still does get a depth call. The side referee, let's have a look at this again, bearing in mind this is the side he gets the white from. I think he just dips it in there.
Yeah, it looks better from this side. It's very possible for a lifter to be a bit asymmetric, so for one hip to be higher than the other. And on that side, I would agree, it looks deep enough.
Joseph Abela from Malta taking a 10 kilo jump to 220 for his second attempt. So this is already a 2.5 kilo personal best for Joseph. Should he make it?
Nice and steady walk out, taking time to settle under the bar.
It's not quick, but it's strong for sure.
Yeah, that's the second attempt. I mean, but I don't know what that yellow would be for.
No, I'm having a look at the far side ref, and the jury assure the coach and the lifter that they're happy with the lift and they won't be turning it over.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what the ref picked up here.
Konstantinos Dimitriou from Cyprus, 225 kilos, a 10 kilo jump, leaving him just 2.5 kilos below his personal best. So of course, if there is a 2 to 1 in any which way, the jury can look it over, and they have to be unanimous, but if they are, they can change a good lift to a bad lift, and vice versa, a bad lift to a good lift. So let's see how this moves for Dimitriou, and hope that it is all whites. And I'm a little bit worried about the depth of that squat. I hope I'm proved wrong.
Referees, cards, please.
I'm seeing a red card being picked up. 2
Yeah,
and
unfortunately,
3.
that's
And
3
three red
reds.
cards.
It's just not deep enough, and I was a little bit concerned about that when I saw it. And
Bar is loaded.
judging on how hard it looked, I'm worried that if he did
230
squat it deeper,
kilos,
if
followed
he'd
by
be able to stand it
Portugal
up. But
I think I would have to agree with you. Looked hard.
Neil Betsina from Malta, 230 kilos, taking a 15 kilo jump from his opener.
Not so far off his personal best of 236 points, sorry. Only competing 2 years.
Yeah, so we expect to see him probably push past that, what I imagine to be national Maltese record there.
Yeah, probably. Ooh, and I'm worried that bar might have dipped.
It didn't dip, but it wasn't quite deep enough, unfortunately. Let's have a look at that again in the replay.
I take it that's not the referee decision on the screen. You can vote with the cards.
It was pretty fast out of the hole, but then it rolled a bit
Oh.
forward.
Those were not the lights from that lift. It was from the previous lift. That was just a bit of a technical issue. So
So
looking now, turns out it's 3 white lights. A
I
good
mean-
lift.
great turnout of events for him.
I was gonna say if it's gonna go anyway, that's the best way you want to see it. Well, that is great news considering.
I mean, it looks like he still doesn't know. Okay, so now he knows for sure.
Luka Shlosilo from Croatia, 235 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from his opener. Just 2.5 kilos below his personal best.
Still looking very comfortable under that bar. And those lights are killing us this morning.
Referees, if you could vote
But
with
the
your
team will
cards,
be working
please.
on it.
And it is a good lift, 3 white
Good
lights
lead for Luka.
until the lights are back in function. We'll
240
just
kilos going on the
tell you what the lights are.
Followed by Kochar, then Molnar.
Show must go on.
Bar is loaded.
So it is the old school way now.
We now have Roland Destatsi from Estonia, 240 kilos, looking for a 10 kilo jump to match his personal best.
Took a bit of time to receive the squat command because the knees weren't properly locked out.
But it's a nice looking second attempt for Roland there. Moved well, exactly how you'd want your second to look. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
Yeah, it's a nice attempt.
Followed by Molnar and Soderling. The bar is loaded. And what it is.
Denis Kochar from Slovenia, 247.5 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump from his opener, getting very close to that personal best of his of 250.
Yeah, most of these lifters are very close to their PB on their second attempt. Improvements being made, but I mean, that's what you expect out of the CMB group.
That's a lovely second attempt from
Oh,
Denis.
I think he's due for a personal best today.
Yeah, I would certainly say so. That is the nicest second attempt I think we've seen yet. Our penultimate second attempt. We have Mark Molnar from Hungary, 257.5 kilos. Another lifter getting just 2.5 kilos below their current personal best. Much smaller jump, however, for Mark, and we did see a very, very difficult opener from him. So You were wondering if it was a technical issue. We'll see here for sure as he's jumped 5 kilos, and I'm hoping it's a lot easier for him.
It is very, very close to his personal best of 260. He'll need to be on point for that second attempt. Oh,
Yeah, no, I think it just unfortunately might have been too heavy as an opener.
yeah, the eccentric looked better, but that right knee gave up at the bottom.
There could be a lot of factors to play here. Have a look at that again here.
The
It is-
eccentric is better, but right there, that right knee gives up.
Yeah, and it is on the international platform, very close to his max. It's, you know, it's different gravy when you're competing at an international. It's not the same as at home or in the gym. It's
It
very,
must
very
be
different.
nerve-wracking.
Now we have Jonathan Söderling from Sweden, 277.5 kilos. 15 kilo jump from his opener. And he had a very nice opener at that.
Yeah, a textbook squat.
Bit of a shaky walkout, but that's not always indicative of how the squat will move. And it wasn't.
It's still not hard by any means.
3 white lights, a good lift. The style in which he squats is quite quickly, so I imagine the brakes may come on quite hard for him as he folds over a little bit into his squat, but you know, he's still moving it well at the moment. And
You don't want this to get shakier, but if it keeps on moving like that, I might have like 7.5.
so far so good, yeah. And everybody is on the board now, which we love to see as we head into our third round of squats. In danger for a moment, but brought it back with his second. Fadi Gurbanov from Azerbaijan now jumps 5 kilos to 207.5 for his third and final attempt. Probably not what they planned, but the sensible decision to take what you have on the day under the circumstances.
Yeah, you don't want to bite. You don't want to bite more than you can chew and go out 1 for 3 in the squat events, especially in the C group. You won't build confidence.
Oh, that's a good push there from Fadi.
Yeah, much better.
Let's see if the referees are happy with it. They are. 3 white lights, a good lift. His best lift yet.
Seems to be happy with it.
Well, if the trend continues, it means the rest of the list will just get better and better as well.
Surely hope so.
Bar is loaded.
We now have Dimitri Konstantinos from Cyprus. Missed 225 on his second, looking to retake the same weight, which is the sensible position here, I would say. Just shy of his personal best.
And I think sometimes screaming doesn't help you because you lose a part of your bracing and it is hard to push through. And
Yeah,
fortunately,
I often feel a certain way about that. I do agree with you. There's very, very few times that screaming while you're lifting is going to aid you in any way. If anything, like you said, you lose your brace, lose some energy, lose your breath. But now have Joseph Abela from Malta, 227.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from his second for a 7.5 kilo personal best. Ah, that's a lovely looking third
that's
attempt.
great, yeah.
Wow. Unfortunately, 2-1, a no lift from depth. Coach goes to the jury. We'll review it as they do as well.
yeah, as he should. Might as well try and negotiate.
Yeah, he's getting sent away. Unfortunately, just not deep enough. And I think the coach somewhat knew that as he walked over. Neil Betsina from Malta now, 232.5 kilos. Not looking to take home a new Maltese record, as he'd have to go 237.5 for that. And I think he's feeling towards the end of his tank now. as he's just taken a 2.5 kilo jump. And I'm quite sure I saw them put the number in, so the time didn't run out.
I think it's the correct call.
Yeah, absolutely was the correct call. And what we're referring to there is in powerlifting, if you do not make the minute that you have to put your next attempt in, if the lift was successful, automatically it will go up 2.5 kilos. If unsuccessful, it will remain the same weight on the bar. So coaches and athletes have 1 minute to get that in. Luka Shlosilo from Croatia, 242.5 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump for a 5 kilo personal best. Very smooth third attempt.
Yeah, he got me worried there. That's why I wasn't talking. I didn't want to curse him.
Yeah, well look again, this is the side he gets the reds from.
It
Yeah,
does look
it's
borderline.
I think a little higher than borderline, but definitely strong enough. Just, I think, lost a bit of confidence on that third attempt as it got heavier.
Yeah, because you're right. It looked strong enough to get it. And the coach went to the jury, but he was sent off immediately.
250 kilos now for Roland Desjatsky from Estonia. 10 kilo jump, and this will be for a 10 kilo personal best. Must be feeling confident to take an equal 10 kilo jump there.
He's surely strong enough. Was it deep enough? Yes, it was. 3 white lights for Roland.
There we go, and you can see the decade of competitive experience playing out there. Squatted exactly as deep as he needed to, no further. And I think picked the perfect number there.
Yeah, he trusted himself with back-to-back 10 kilo jumps.
Bar is loaded.
Mark Molnar from Hungary, 257.5 kilos, retaking it after missing on his second. His opener was pretty hard, and we're wondering if it was a strength or a technical issue. And based off his second, it looked like it could have been strength, but he's coming back out for it again, and here's hoping he finds a second gear. And perhaps it was a technical issue, because that was the best lift so far.
That was unexpected, to be honest, but it's great to see him regain now. Maybe he recamped a bit, regained a bit of energy. And 2-1, a good lift.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it'll be changed. A phenomenal job.
That's great for your mentals.
Bar is loaded, Denis.
Our penultimate squat from this morning's session, Denis Kočar from Slovenia, 257.5 kilos. Another lifter opting for a 10 kilo jump from second to third. This will be for a 7.5 kilo personal best.
And you have to root for him. He's someone that's so invested with the Slovenian team. I've seen him in multiple competition, coaching or refereeing. So I'm hoping he gets that new personal best.
Oh, and that is a beautiful third attempt from Denis.
2-1, a good lift.
Let's have a look at that again in the replay. Far side referee just not too happy with the depth. Definitely on the more borderline side of things, but looks like it's going in the way of the lifter. And our final squat of this morning's session, Jonathan Söderling from Sweden, 285 kilos for a 2.5 kilo personal best. A huge squat to end the C group with.
Let's see if it is as shaky as his second attempt. Doesn't look to be.
Wow, that is an incredible fight there from Jonathan, and the perfect number on the bar.
Yeah, he gets that 7.5 kilo jump. 3 white lights, a good lift for him.
Fantastic job from Team Sweden then.
That's a competitive squat.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that will land overall, because we still have a good amount of 83s to go, still 17 83s throughout the rest of the day, and I think he could be in that top half on squats.
Yeah.
And just to conclude the squats there, we can see Söderling with that big 285, followed by Molnar and Kochar 257.5, subject to change as we see the B and A groups come through later. We're going to head into a 20-minute break now before bench press, so we will see you then. Hello and welcome back to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain. We have the 83 kilo C group for you, returning for the bench press. You can see the results of the squat as they stand, leading the pack. Söderling from Sweden with 285 kilos, a squat which I think would do pretty well overall as well. Perhaps not podium, but to get that high up in the C group is quite the feat.
Yeah, he might make the top 8 for squats.
Absolutely, and we head into the bench press now, where we have benches ranging from 110 kilos all the way to 172.5, which again is a pretty sizable opener. Mark Mona from Hungary really surprised us with squat, had a pretty difficult opener, then missed his second, and then came back with maybe the best of the three on his third attempt, opening with 110 kilos, quite a way below his personal best of 150.
And also a very, very narrow grip.
Yeah, perhaps having to deal with some sort of injury, adjusting that grip to a close grip to compensate for it. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights.
Bar is loaded.
We now have Joseph Abela from Malta, 117.5 kilos, 5 kilos below his personal best.
Great opener.
3 white lights, a good lift.
120 kilos on the bar for Farabi Gurbano, followed by Desiatsky and Bettina. Bar is loaded.
Fadi Gerbanov from Azerbaijan now, opening with 120 kilos. Held for quite a little bit on his chest there, but still manages to work through. Better happen on your opener than anywhere else. A good lift.
Yeah, the bar needs to stay still on the chest for the lifter to receive the press command. It took a bit of time here.
Yeah, I would argue that it would have been still for a little minute, but we have to account for human reflexes as well there. 130 kilos of Roland Jatsky from Estonia. Had a phenomenal squat session.
Yeah, back-to-back 10 kilo jumps for a new personal best for the Estonian. And he's opening only 5 kilos shy of his registered personal best of 135.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
147.5 kilos on the bar for Neil Bettina, followed by Söderling and Pochar.
Neil Bettina from Malta, 147.5 kilos. His personal best of 161.
Loaded.
Seems about right for where his opener is currently.
Probably a Maltese record.
Yes, I would imagine so. I imagine a great fight between himself and Abela at the Nationals.
Yeah, it's getting more and more to see classes double stacked, so they must be the top of the top in Malta. Great opener.
Three white lights in the blue team. 150 going on the bar for Jonathan Soderling, to be followed by Kota and Zlotiko. Bar is loaded. Jonathan Soderling.
Jonathan Söderling from Sweden walked away with the heaviest squat from this flight with 285 kilos. Now opening with 150 kilos for his bench, 16 kilos below his personal best, and again what we imagine to be Swedish national record, and that is because you can only chip records in powerlifting. So if you see something that is a 0.5, not a multiple of 1.25.
Yeah, it is either a record or used to be a record.
And as a lovely opener for Jonathan, 3 white lights, a good lift.
60 kilos going on the bar for Danish Kota, followed by Zlotiko and Dimitrio.
Denis Kucha from Slovenia, 160 kilos, opening 10 kilos below his personal best. Got a fantastic PB on his third attempt squat. Wow, moved like an empty bar.
Oh yeah, very explosive off the chest.
Yeah, he smiles, he knows he feels strong today. It's always good when you hit your opener and it moves better than expected. You know that you can push that perhaps top end you wanted to.
He might also be due for a personal best in the bench press event.
Yeah, with that speed it looks like it, maybe even matching it on his second.
Yeah, probably.
Luka Zlosilo from Croatia, 165 kilos.
Taking a few seconds off his minutes to explain how he would like his end off to be.
Which sometimes is well worth it. It's a variable that's somewhat out of your control if you don't know how the handout is going to be given. Of course, one way of fixing that is giving a self handout, but it's the trade-off that you take. Nice clean opener.
Yeah, and some lifters lose a lot of their scapular retraction when they lift off the bar by themselves. This is why they ask for the end off. And not to be too close to the rack, because some lifters are used to clipping the rack on the way up.
Dimitriou Konstantinos from Cyprus, 172.5 kilos. Opening 5 kilos above his personal best. This is the heaviest opener of the flight. Lost a bit of tension on his chest there, I think.
Yeah, I think I might have saw the bar dipping after the press command.
I'm not sure I can read what he was saying to his coach.
See, I think that's what he gets a yellow for, because he dipped the bar after the press command.
Yeah, I think that is what the yellow was for, but the jury seemed happy that it was part of the same movement. Mark Molnar from Hungary, 120 kilos, a 10 kilo jump, already onto our second attempts now.
Yeah, we have an F1 pit crew on the platform. The Spanish crew is so fast. It makes it easy for the lifters to predict the rhythm of the competition and to feel safe on the platform.
And a good second attempt from Mark. I think just feeling it out. I think probably this is not his normal grip.
Mm.
I'd imagine, see, it's like, it looks like the closest grip he could possibly get physically. Joseph Abela from Malta, 122.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump to match his personal best.
This is a pretty good second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift. And I think from this one he can gauge what he has left in the tank. No technical breakdown, he just slowed down at lockout.
Bar is loaded.
Fadi Gurbanov from Azerbaijan taking a 5 kilo jump to 125. Did well to press through that. I'm wondering if he met the command. Yep, 3 white lights, a good lift, and a good example of meeting, not beating the command. You know, you can anticipate when the head referee is going to say it and go at the same time as soon as you hear them say it, but that can definitely play for or against you, and usually against. So I'm glad it worked in his favour there.
Yeah, he got a good feel for the rhythm of the chief referee on his first attempt. He played the game correctly on his second attempt and he gets it.
Roland Deschatsky from Estonia, 135 kilos. This is to match his personal best.
And that's pretty good for a personal best.
3 white lights, a good lift. And still PBing after 10 years of competing. You love to see that kind of longevity.
I'm not so sure there's 5, but there's at least 2.5.
Yeah, and it's worth taking all you can. You know, leave your ego at the door when you compete and take what you have there. But he could have a bench grind in him. Have to wait and see. 155 kilos for Jonathan Söderling of Sweden. 11 kilos below his personal best. So taking a smaller jump here. His opener was nice, but let's see how the jump affects him. And we're starting to see that sticking point there. But it's a good lift.
I mean, it seems like he's just lacking, quote-unquote, in the bench department, judging by his deadlift opener. If he had just a bit more onto that bench, he could have been in the A group. Squatting 285, opening with 302.5 in the deadlift event. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and certainly I think looking to prove a point today that, you know, maybe he should have been even in the B group for this year. Neil Betsina from Malta, 155 kilos. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener.
Bit more effort.
2 to 1, a good lift. Our first elbow depth call of the day. We'll have a look here. It's we're looking at the left elbow. I think it could go either way. I think it was okay there. We're looking for the elbow to be in line or below the top of the shoulder joint.
Yeah, it's at the point where it is hard to judge at full speed.
Denis Kocha from Slovenia, 167.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Just below his personal best of 170. And still so comfortable.
Yeah, through white lights, a good lift.
I mean, we said after his opener we would have seen 10 kilos be justified, but also it's worth bearing in mind it's not just how you get, where you get to, but how you get there as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he would have loaded 170 now, he would have taken off a bit of the third, so maybe a smart call from him.
Luka Shlosilo from Croatia, 170 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his opener.
That's a long pause.
He has a very, very long pause.
I'm not so sure what was unstable.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing the replay because I'm not sure either. He did incredibly well to fight through that, but unfortunately there was downwards movement. Let's have a look at that. I'm not too sure why he was held so long. Yeah, and it looks like the jury are getting involved, perhaps.
Yeah, the jury seems to agree that it was kind of a long pause.
I think unnecessarily long is what they're saying. For now, Konstantinos Dimitriou, 177.5 kilos.
In that situation, if something was out of the rulebook, they might give him an extra attempt at the end of the round.
For now, let's look at the lifter from Cyprus on his second attempt.
Oh, it's going to be hard. And that scream once again.
Yeah, like we were saying before, it's not going to benefit you to lose the air from your lungs or lose the brace. So that's a no lift. So what is happening is Dimitriou is getting another shot at that. Sorry, not Dimitriou. Shlosilo is getting another shot at that 170. The jury agreed that he was being unnecessarily held. I believe there's going to be time added to the clock. And we're just figuring out now how much time he's going to get before he has to reattempt it. And look, the choice is his whether to reattempt it and then get that fourth attempt or to leave it and have a little bit of extra time to rest, because 4 attempts is going to make a difference in terms of fatigue. So he's going to get given the extra shot. Whether he takes it is up to him. What would you do in this?
If I were in his shoes, I would take the rest, because after such a grinder, you need to rest. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he will gas out for sure.
Yeah, and the benefit of him being at the end of the round is either he can take it now and have a bit of a rest, or he can have a much longer rest. He's getting 3 minutes now to reattempt that 170, and it looks like he might be taking it. The bar is being loaded for him, and we'll have to wait and see.
So he's going to have 3 minutes to receive the start command. He decides when he wants to take it, whether or not he wants to take it.
Yeah, and the coach comes out to look at the clock, and I think he's only just being informed that that is for his lifter. So I think they'll have the conversation now, whether that's what they want to do. And while the clock runs down and they make that decision, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Visit Malta, ESN, Maniac Fitness, and SBD. You know, without them, none of this would be possible. We have the Maniac equipment on the platform. We have it all in the back, which means the lifters can warm up on the kit, which is, you know, a great opportunity.
7 brand new Maniac racks in the warm-up room is ideal for the lifters.
We also obviously will see a plethora of SBD kit throughout the week, and it is lovely. My favorite thing is when we see a new country's SBD kit come out.
Yeah.
It's like getting a new Pokemon card. It's so exciting. And of course, we've had a couple of championships in Malta so far, and they have just been, first of all, run so well. But separate from that, it's a beautiful country. and ESN, a newer sponsor, they are here handing out protein, and we know that everybody here loves protein, so it's great
Can't go
to have
without
them.
protein.
Yeah, it's really great to have them.
They have a
them
booth
here.
at the competition if you want to go try and taste, and they have a few challenges for you to try and win some €50 coupons.
For me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I know what I'll be doing in my 20-minute break.
Max grip challenge, maximum dips challenge to try and win some protein.
So just looking back at the competition now, I'll be interested to see if Luca decides to come out. Even if he doesn't, what's happening is everybody else is getting a slightly longer break, which could either work in people's favor or against them. It is quite a quick flight, so it could be in the favor of a lot of lifters. And it looks like he is choosing to come out. He has 1 minute left on the clock now, which
He's just retained by the TC now because he needs to adjust his wrist wraps before walking onto the platform. The only piece of equipment you're allowed to adjust on the platform is the belt.
And here he comes. He's choosing to take it. And the center referee, I assume, has been told, or reminded rather, the rules for the press command, which is as soon as the bar is motionless, they get the press command. So we'll have a look here and see how he does. Reattempting his second attempt.
Much better.
And much more fair. Yeah, and you can see it definitely wasn't a strength issue. Huge difference between a 1 count and a 4 count pause in your chest.
Yeah, the difference is night and day.
And maybe even worth doing that reattempt. You said you may not do it, but look how speedy it was.
Yeah, I mean, he's strong. He's going to get a third attempt.
And now that concludes the second round as we head into the third and final round of bench press. Bar is loaded for the first lifter out, which will be Joseph Abela of Malta. 125 kilos, opting for a 2.5 kilo jump, the smallest increment you can jump. But like we said, those extra kilos on bench you can really feel.
Yeah, and a bit that he could chew in the squat event. Hoping not to do the same in the bench press. And that should be good enough. Yes, it is. 3 white light for Joseph.
Party Gurbano on exit 127.5 to be followed by Molnar and Desiatsky. Bar is loaded. Let's go.
Fadi Gurbanov, now with 127.5 kilos from Azerbaijan. Another lifter opting for that 2.5 kilo jump. Definitely worth optimizing if you feel like you're at the end of your tether.
Yeah, if a personal best is not here on the day, you don't want to force it.
Yeah, just fell forwards there towards his belly, unfortunately. Lost his line. But, he got everything he could out of bench, considering he made that small jump. It's not like he made a 10 kilo jump and wondered, what if I jump 2.5? What if I jump 5?
Yeah, he made a sensible decision, just was not here on the day.
Mark Molnar from Hungary, 130 kilos. Another 10 kilo jump. So like we said, just feeling it out. We assume this isn't his normal bench style. His personal best in what I assume is his normal bench style is 150 kilos. But extremely close grip today.
And the ball's going to dip.
Yeah.
He still manages to lock it out.
Well, I'm surprised they let him work through that. Yeah, and the thing is, with the triceps, the brakes come on really hard and fast. I think his back cramped a little bit through that as well, which is super common with lifters who tend to arch a little bit more.
Now he has time to rehydrate and mobilize that back a bit.
Roland Desjetsky from Estonia, 137.5 kilos, another 2.5 kilo jump. a lovely third attempt.
And that was a very fair press command. He stabilized that bar very fast, got the command, went up.
Jonathan Soderling going for 157.5 to be followed by Bettina, then Kochar.
5 more bench presses to go.
Jonathan Söderling from Sweden, jumping 2.5 kilos, and I think just looking to build as big of a total as he can, because if he gets this, he's already projected with his deadlift opener of 745, which is leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the C group. 157.5 kilos on the bar for him.
Oh, and he manages to lock it out.
What a great effort. The perfect number on the bar there for Jonathan.
Yeah, he's gonna meet the standards probably.
It is a good lift, 3 white lights.
He's having a great show out so far. 285 in the squat event, 157.5 in the bench press. Looking forward to seeing his deadlift.
Absolutely. By far the heaviest deadlift opener of this flight. Seconded only by Molnar and Shatsky at 290.
Yeah, 12.5 kilo gap based on openers.
Neil Betsina from Malta, 160 kilos.
This is by no means a small bench. We just have monsters in the A group. This is a 2-time body weight bench.
And a nice third attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift.
172.5 on the bar for Denis Kochar. Followed by Zloshilo and Dimitrio. Bar is loaded. I'm Denis. Gremo.
Denis Kochar now from Slovenia, 172.5 kilos. A 5 kilo jump for a 2.5 kilo personal best.
That seems within his ballpark considering how the second one moved.
Yeah, I would absolutely say so.
That's great. That is great. 2-1, a good lift. A yellow light from the right side referee.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that from the side angle. Usually that means it's a lift of sorts. Or, there we go. I think it
Bit
might
of a
have lifted
wobble,
there. Yeah.
Yeah, the jury wants to intervene. They are going to overrule.
Yeah, unfortunately that is a no lift there.
It moved great, but it's going to be overruled for not meeting the standards. It looks strong enough to meet the standards, but was unable to.
Luka Zlosilo from Croatia now, after retaking his second attempt. Technically, this is his 4th attempt on bench press. Hopefully getting a little bit more of a fair press command. Jumping 2.5 kilos, which is smart. Wow. And you know what? Fair play to him.
I mean, getting 4 benches in.
I mean, it's still not, I imagine, the number he wanted, but to come back after a huge grind, hit the same number, and then still get a couple of extra kilos shows strength and resilience.
It's just 2.5 shy of his personal best, so props to him.
And our final bench of the flight, we have Konstantinos Dimitriou from Cyprus, retaking the 177.5.
And this time you might not want to be screaming. You want to keep that chest up, rib cage up.
Yeah, I think for some lifters just a hard habit for them to shake, but I absolutely agree. You know, keep all of your energy conserved pressing that weight, and you can let out the biggest battle cry you want after you finish lifting.
We're all for a celebration, but once the lift is done. Yeah, it's not going to go up.
I think just gassed the tank a little bit on that second, but great effort nonetheless, and still walked away with the joint heaviest bench press of the flight, just with his opener and lighter, so leading the C group there. We now head into a 20-minute break before deadlifts. We can see the bench results as they stand there, but of course subject to change as we see the following 1783s come through later. So we're going to head into a short break and we will catch you then. Hello and welcome back to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain. I'm Amelia Potter, joined by Alex Nodal.
My pleasure, Amelia.
And we are heading into the deadlift for the 83 kilos C group. Just a reminder, we have the B group this afternoon at 1:30 local time, followed by the A group this evening at 6 p.m. local time. So we still have 17 lifters to follow. So we'll see the medals jump around a lot, but that is subject to change as the day goes on. Right now we're looking for these lifters to secure their total and build it as big as they can. Konstantinos Dimitriou from Cyprus, 210 kilos on the bar.
We almost have an 100 kilo range of openers, with 302.5 being the heaviest opener for Jonathan Soderling from Sweden. And that's a good lift for Konstantinos.
215 kilos for Fargo Urbano. We follow Zloshilo and Vecina. Bar is loaded.
Fadi Gebanov from Azerbaijan, 215 kilos on the bar. That is a good lift.
I would expect an opener to be easier, to be honest.
The bar is loaded.
But maybe that's just how he lifts.
Followed by Vecina and Abela.
Now the man who benched 4 times.
Let's see how much energy he has left for his deadlift. Luka Shosilo from Croatia, 220 kilos.
Very efficient technique.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. I can't believe how quick this spotting and loading team is.
And the thing is, I think each side is racing the other side.
Bar is loaded.
They have a challenge in between them to be the fastest side. You
Neil.
see the smile. The right side is happy they won this time.
I'll keep an eye on the competition, on both competitions now. Neil Bedzina, 245 kilos from Malta. It's a personal best of 280, so a relatively conservative opener for Neil.
Yeah, he might be a big jump enthusiast.
Yeah, and it's well worth sometimes opening relatively conservative, securing your total, and if you feel comfortable to do so, making a slightly bigger jump. We've already seen, unfortunately, once this championship, somebody not post a total because of their deadlift. And we don't ever want to see that, really. So make sure your opener is something that you could do 3 times if you need on every lift.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like, having criterias for an opener, maybe something you can triple, maybe something you can last in for bench if the carpet is slippery. Something secure.
Something worth, yeah, taking into consideration. We have Joseph Abela from Malta, 250 kilos for his opening attempt. Looked fairly comfortable weight-wise, but yeah, unfortunately, 2 referees not quite happy with the lockout. Middle referee gave for yellow, which he gave him the down command. I'm wondering what that could have been for otherwise, having a look at this. Oh,
Did it drop the bar on the way down? I don't think so.
but
No,
the
it
lockout
didn't.
was
Yep.
somewhat soft looking there.
It reminded me of Joey Owala's deadlift like 2 or 3 comps ago, where the knees unlocked just a tiny bit at the top.
Now Denis Kocha from Slovenia, 257.5 kilos, having a great day so far. Bit of a wobble at the top there, but managed to lock it out.
Yeah, through white legs, a good lift.
209 kilos on the bar for Mark Molnar, followed by Desaki and Soderling.
Mark Molnar from Hungary, 290 kilos. Opening on his personal best, so it might still be a conservative option if his training's been going really well, but can be risky sometimes. He's very new to the sport, only 2 years in, so not completely unusual.
Let's hope this is not a case of covering some ground that he lost in the bench press and in the squat events.
Started to lose grip a little bit there, but in terms of speed, it was good.
Yeah, but that left end almost gave up on the bar.
If I am correct, yeah, he was lifting mixed grip, so it's that underhand that starts losing grip. The thumb pops out, but luckily he gets the down command just in time.
Yeah, great timing.
Roland Desjatsky from Estonia, 290 kilos.
Solid opener, 3 white lights, a good lift. With only one command in the deadlift, you really don't want to miss it. You have 1 minute to make the bar move. You need to secure lockout and only pull the bar down when the chief referee says down and signals it with his hand.
Now our heaviest opener of the flight belongs to the biggest squatter of the flight, Jonathan Sodling from Sweden, 302.5 kilos, and with his opening attempt gives himself a 745 kilo total. See how this moves. I'm looking forward to seeing how much he can add on to that. Bit sticky towards lockout there, which is worrying on the opening attempt.
Yeah, this is a tricky one.
But it is a good lift and secures that 745 total, which is not a small total, particularly for the C group.
Yeah, he makes a case for himself, at least for the B group.
A little worried that perhaps he's near his top end already with that opener, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm suspecting that if the weight gets heavier, it might be supporting on the thighs.
Yeah, Caro, who is the head coach of Sweden, however, is extremely good game day handler, and I'm sure she will talk him down from whatever number he potentially wants to put on. Fadi Gurbanov from Azerbaijan, 222.5 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Yeah, we thought his opener looked a little bit tough. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. He seemed a bit tentative as he was setting up, and I think it's hard when you know it's probably going to feel difficult.
Bar is loaded.
Might even be too sat down at the start of the movement. Some corrections to be made for Gorbanov. It is 2:25 for Konstantinos Dimitriou from Cyprus.
Nice looking second attempt there. 3 white lights, a good lift.
237.5 for Lucia Zloshilo, followed by Avila and Messina.
Yeah, still moving pretty well there for Dimitri. Luka Shashilo from Croatia, 237.5 kilos. 17.5 kilo jump, leaving him just 10 kilos shy of his personal best. Pretty good sizable jump there for Luka. Already had quite the sticky bench session, but managed to make the best out of a bad situation. Ended up going 3 for 3, or 3 for 4 if you look at it technically.
Still looks pretty good, pretty solid.
Yeah, absolutely, and he certainly has his head screwed on today, you know, to be able to not let that bench mishap phase him whatsoever.
Apparently he felt that it was so-so.
Wow, he's only got 1 attempt left and room left in the tank, so I think he's in a pretty good position.
Yeah, he is, but he gave a thumbs down to his coach.
Now have Joseph Abela from Malta, 250 kilos. Did not get this on his opening attempt. Just not happy with the lockout at the end. It was 2-1. So hopefully he can convince at least one more referee, hopefully all 3, that he is completely locked out.
Yeah, and I think it was more about the knees than the shoulders.
That looks way better. I'm wondering if he narrowed his stance a little bit there as well.
Might have.
It's a good lift, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Now have Neil Betsina, who's jumping 20 kilos from his opener to his second. That's a pretty big jump. 245 kilos to 265. So we thought he opened quite light compared to his personal best of 280, and this would be why. A very conservative opener for a pretty big jump.
It is slower, but not that hard for him. 3 white lights, a good lifts. But he seems to be looking at his ends. It might start hurting.
The bar is loaded. To be followed by Mola and Vishnyatsky.
Denis Kocha from Slovenia, 272.5 kilos. 15 kilo jump from his opener, leaving him just 2.5 kilos shy of his personal best. Yeah, and still moving really nicely. I think if they're smart with selection, he could go for a perfect 9 for 9 day there with a huge personal best.
I agree. He's showing out today. PBs all across the board.
The bar is loaded.
We have Mark Molnar now from Hungary, jumping 12.5 kilos to 302.5 on his second attempt.
He got us worried with these left hand, almost giving up on the bar during his first attempt.
Yeah, so I think, you know, if anything's going to be the problem now, it's going to be grip. So I'm wondering if 12.5 kilos was smaller. Yeah, it was greedy, smaller than they expected, but I still think perhaps could be a little bit too much.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Surely he's not having there he was expecting.
And that's what I was worried about, really.
Apparently he just wants to run it back.
Okay, so we'll see him, I guess, try that again, but it's very hard when you can't shift it from the ground. But saying that, he definitely proved us wrong once today.
We're seeing weirder things happen.
I love to be proved wrong, I really do. 305 kilos in the bar for Roland Deschatsky from Estonia. Just 8 kilos off his personal best, and I imagine Estonian national deadlift record. We'll also have a total record with this deadlift to take back to Estonia, 692.5.
I don't think the bar did, but I'm not so sure about that lockout.
2-1, a good lift. The jury will review it, as will we, but there were several points in that deadlift I thought he was not going to pull through, and he managed to because it was his knees locked out very early on, which means it was very backy.
The jury is not convinced. They are still discussing it. Is it enough to overturn? I'm not sure.
You have to be unanimous, and I think they're happy with it. We have Jonathan. Oh no, they've overruled it to a no lift there, unfortunately. But we have Jonathan Soderling now, 312.5. Still sticky towards that lockout, yeah. And again, as we suspected, the opener was tough, and I think 10 extra kilos on top of that was just a big ask. And I imagine that would have been some convincing of the athlete to the coach that, you know, he had that extra grind
I
in him.
assure you, I can do it.
Yeah. And
Not today.
sometimes you can, but like we said, the international platform is different gravy. And that concludes our second round of deadlifts. We are soon now into the third round of the first session this morning. And we can see the results as they stand, subject to change, of course, as we see the B and A group come through later today. First out, we have Fadi Gurbanov from Azerbaijan, 222.5 kilos. Just about broke it off the ground last time. Seemed like it was just a bit too much for the day, but comes out to reattempt it now on his third. And a similar story this time round.
Unfortunately, there's going to be a no lead for Gurbanov. 2:35 on the bar for Konstantinos Dimitriou, to be followed by Zlotilo and Kotar.
It's going to be a bit longer in between attempts because it is written in the rulebook that the bar needs to be brushed in between each and every last attempt. This one's to optimize the grip and to reduce the possibility of baby powder and chalk.
Yeah, of course, as a conventional lifter, your hands will be where the sumo lifter's legs are, and vice versa with sumo to conventional. Of course, you can ask the bar to be brushed down at any point, but it will be brushed down in between each third attempt. Konstantinos Dimitriou from Cyprus, 235 for a 2.5 kilo personal best, a 10 kilo jump from his second. Will we see the scream?
We saw the scream.
Yeah, it did not slow him down this time, luckily. It was a lovely third attempt, 3 white lights, a good lift.
250 kilos on the
And the
bar.
signature finally works for him.
To be followed by Kotar and Bettina.
It's nice to end on a high note.
Luka Jasilo from Croatia, 250 kilos, 12.5 kilo jump, equal to his,
Bar is loaded.
sorry, 2.5 kilos more than his personal best. So going for a PB here. This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best on deadlift, and just 2.5 kilos shy of his total PB.
It's not going to be easy by any means, but it is possible for him. 250 for a 657.5 kilo total.
Oh, and that is such a shame. Just lost grip there, but still 8 for 9, I believe.
A lack of grip is such a difficult issue to manage.
Yeah, it's just not something that you can come back from. Once your grip starts going, there's no way to get the bar back into your hands. You know, you can grind through a strength issue, you can fix the technical issue, but once grip is gone, it's gone. Denis Kochar from Slovenia, 277.5 kilos for a 2.5 kilo PB on deadlift, and a huge 5 kilo total PB, reaching over that 700 kilo mark.
Yeah, he's been having a great day, stacking personal best on personal best. He needs to end this one on a high note to put the cherry on top of his performance. It's going.
And that's a phenomenal third attempt, leaving him 9 for 9, and maybe the best day of lifting we've seen so far in this flight. Just so technically sound, great choices, great jumps.
Yeah, only the second lifter to cross that 700 barrier in the C group.
Neil Bitsina from Malta taking another 20 kilo jump to 285. Pretty unheard of, particularly in the 83 kilo class. His personal best is 280, and we thought 245 was a pretty light opener for that. But if we knew then what we know now, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, it looks like the 120 plus strategy, but it isn't. It's 483. Neil Bitsina from Malta.
That's a great fight, but yeah, another 20 kilos is just too much of a jump, really. I think worth perhaps playing with a different strategy next time round, opening a tiny bit heavier, making slightly smaller jumps.
Yeah, because it is very hard to gauge from such a light second what you have for a third.
Covering 40 kilos of grounds is a lot. But a phenomenal effort nonetheless. Joseph Abela from Malta, super hyped up here for his final attempt, jumping 37.5 kilos. That is not a mistake. That is a 37.5 kilo jump.
I think it's covering some ground for that missed opener.
37.5 kilos is a hefty jump. Even if 287 is not your top end, it is the jump that matters. This is a huge. If he gets this, I will stand up and applaud. All right.
All right, I mean,
up I get.
You might want to stand up.
Absolutely incredible. I have very rarely seen a 37.5 kilo jump successful, let alone just at all.
Yeah, he has a very good reason to be happy about that one.
I think especially off the back of us saying 20 kilos was a bit ambitious of a jump. Wow, absolutely incredible. Fair play to him.
The loaded up strategy in full effect.
Load it up.
Bar is loaded for
Mark Molnar from Hungary now coming out to retake 302.5 kilos. Just couldn't really budget on his second, but decided to push it up and come out for his third anyway, retaking the same weight.
Could you imagine? From stuck to the ground to a good lift, that would be absolutely crazy for Mark Molnar.
I'm not saying never, just not today, unfortunately.
But still a good display of sportsmanship, thanking the referees after not having the day he was expecting.
Just 2 deadlifts remaining before we conclude this morning's flight, and the penultimate lifter out is Roland Desjatsky from Estonia, looking to retake that 305. Another lifter looking for redemption here. This would match his total PB, 692.5, should he make this.
Come on.
And I think it looks better this time round. We'll wait for the lights.
I would agree, it looked better. 3 white lights, a good lift. Great corrections.
Yeah, really good job. You can see the experience paying off here for him. Such patience, knows himself so well, and finishes the day strong. And our final lifter of this morning flight, ahead of his fellow competitors in this flight by 52.5 kilos if he gets this lift. 312.5 kilos in the bar for Jonathan Söderling from Sweden. Missed this on his second, just there on lockout.
Come on.
One last try at it. Gets it moving once again, but is glued to his thighs, and it's just not there today.
That's gonna be too heavy in
It
this
still was a very good show out for a C group.
session.
Absolutely.
745 kilo total.
And we'll see where all of those lifters fall as we have the B group this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. local time. So you won't have to wait long. The B group will kick off in 28 minutes time. We then will have A group at 6 p.m. local time alongside the 57 kilo A group and 57 kilo B group this afternoon. So please do tune back in with us then, and we will catch you later.